fight, the truth she'll expose. Tune in, sit back, this tea hot, never cold. We here in the Foxy Angel Zone. She keeps it real, this the you can't stop me zone. She loves to collaborate, but she can do this on her own. Now let's celebrate and welcome Foxy to the show.
Hello, everyone. All right, we get ready to bring up the Harvey board meeting. Let's see if he's changed anything. Thanks to our content creator, Vivian, your favorite survivor. And let's see what we got going on.
Illinois law resisted arrest filed by knowingly
Right
resisting or
now,
obstructing
all they're
performance
doing is
by
making
one
sure they
known to be the
tell all the
person
things
committing
that they need to
assaults
tell right now. The
required
meeting
by a
just started.
corporation, institution, employee of any unauthorized act within his or her official capacity. This constitutes a class A misdemeanor. The statute requires that the act of resistance must involve some physical act that imposes an obstacle that may impede, hinder, interrupt, prevent, or delay the performance of an officer's duties. Examples include struggling, wrestling, going limp, or physically aiding a third party to avoid arrest. Illinois law explicitly states that a person is not authorized to use force to resist an arrest by a known peace officer, even if that arrest is believed to be or is in fact unlawful. Resistance of even an unlawful arrest by a known officer is a violation of state statute. Thank you.
Right now, I think they're just doing the reports. I don't see the mayor yet. So I don't know if Mayor Clark is coming to the meeting or not. I, the board is there. The other department heads are to the left there, but we do not see the mayor. Now they're getting people to come and do the public comments or do their reports. I want to apologize to everyone. It took a moment for my computer to come up for me to start at the very. Okay, there I mayor. Let's see what happens. See if we're going to get a showdown or he's going to do his same performance from the last meeting where he was praying and doing scriptures. Let's see how he does today. Let's all stand by.
Good evening, this is the City of Harvey City Council meeting, today is Monday, June 23rd, 2025, at 7 p.m. All of the presidents and council members would mark themselves as president. Would you be so kind?
We bow our heads and we petition the throne of grace. We just go there and Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this gathering. We thank you for this great city. We thank you for what it's about to do. We're about to take care of the business of the city. Harvey, Lord Jesus, we ask you for wisdom and knowledge, discerning wisdom, grant and solid. Lord Jesus, we thank you for reasonable portion of good health. Thank you for this
Hello, I said what I
small
said, and hello, Minion with the opinion. Thank you for joining my show. Let's see if he's going to do all this
Lord, give us
praying and
wisdom.
how he's doing now. He didn't pray, so we know that that was the show so far. Let's see what else goes on.
God, that's why Jesus, as we want to take care of business of this great city. This is our prayer, Lord. We ask it all in the name of Jesus.
Okay, here we go.
Our next item on the agenda is executive session, discussion, discussion of personnel and litigation matters. Um, Chair would need a motion, we have a motion by, let's see, motion by third, second, yes, second by sixth. Go ahead and cast the roll. Motion passed. It is 7:17 p.m. We will go into executive session. Hopefully, very long. All right.
Okay, everyone, they're going into an executive meeting. They should be back in a minute. Okay, what I see on the minutes, the agenda for this meeting called meeting to order, roll call of council members, in invocation and pledge of allegiance, executive session, discuss the personnel and litigations matters. Then they're supposed to return to the session, approve the minutes for April the 28th, May the 12th, and June the 9th of 2025. Approve the bills for May the 26th and June the 23rd of 2025. Then they're supposed to get the treasurer report. Then we're supposed to do approval of ordinance and resolution for the city of Harvey. Old business, they have nothing listed under there. But new business, number one, motion to approve the release and settlement agreement. So let's go to that. I'm gonna take this down for me and let everybody. Hopefully, everybody can see it once I go to share it. Okay, hopefully you can see it. All right. Okay. Um, okay. It said motion to approve the release and settlement agreement between Carlos and the city of Harvey. This motion authorized the agreed upon settlement so titled against with the Carlos and their name I'm not able to pronounce right versus the city of Harvey and George Lockett Jr. case. Okay, case number 24L66062. The second one is resolution number, and there's blank. A resolution approving the automatic aid agreement between the village of Burnham, Calumet City, Country Club Hill, Dalton, East Hazelcrest, Flossmoor, Greenwood, Harvey, Hazelcrest, Homewood, Lansing, Linwood, Markham, Mattinson, Mustard, Oak Forest, Park Forest, Phoenix, Richmond Park, Riverdale, South Holland, Thornton, and Tinley Park. This resolution authorized cooperation municipality, the cooperating municipalities, and directs their reflect on fire chief or designee to take necessary and proper action to render and or request automatic aid from other coordinated municipalities according to the term of this agreement. And then you got the public comments, mayoral comments, and then they'll adjourn the meeting. That's on the agenda for tonight. So right now they're in executive meeting. Um, from, from what I can say, they have not came back from executive meeting. Just as soon as they do, I will bring it up. But let me go ahead and bring it up now. We just wait together. So I just want to say hello. And right now, hopefully they'll be back soon so we can see what's going on. I was looking at the Flint and I just realized the day was on. But when I was looking at the Flint, um, three or two of the board members walked out. So they were still making votes and taking people out, and had one lady that's the regular there at the meeting, had her arrested and taken out of the meeting. And when they did that, Sonya Tanya Burns and I can't think of the white man that's on one of the councilmen, they walked out together because they were just tired of them using the police to weaponize the residents. So they walked out. So I don't think, well, when I left there to come over here, they had not come back. So I don't think they're coming back to the meeting for the day. So later on, I'm gonna wait and see if Tanya Burns normally do a recap on these meetings, even if she don't stay, she still do a recap because it's still recording. So I didn't want to use up my time. So I decided to just come over here to the Harvey and see if anything has changed from the last meeting. Well, we already see first he was late. Second, he did not do the prayer and do the scriptures. So let's see how he does for the rest of the meeting, and especially when it comes to the comments. And then we see what he says in his comment. And he's gonna let each ward say their thing about what's going on in their ward also. So when they come back from the executive, you know, their break and their meeting in the back. And then when they come back out, we see how he does the rest of the meeting. See if anything changed or it's still going to be the same. Ryan is there, all in the queue, and I think no apologies, just me is there also. No, all in the queue is not there. All in the queue is using Vivian. I stand correct. All in the queue is using Vivian Live also, like I'm doing. But Ryan is there, and so is Vivian. I don't see no apologies, just me. I'm not saying she's not there, but I don't see her. But he's making sure that anybody that is filming stays in the back. Nobody's on the floor. So they made sure that when they first got there. So we're going to see what happens from there. And there go, and right there in front of, let's see, can I bring it up? Okay. Okay, Ryan is there, and right in front of Ryan is Chappelle Hicks. So she's there. I don't see who else is there, but I do know they are there. Okay. Menu with opinion, or I said what I said. There is the link that you could click on to come up if you care to. We can do OTR on Foxy 2, Roxy 3 channel. You're welcome to come. Okay, menu opinion. You say you saw some articles that in Harvey. What did you see in Harvey that I was talking about?
All right, y'all. I'm sorry. I was over there running my mouth with Ryan. They are back. That was quite a quick executive session. I gotta get on my tippy toes just to see this camera. Y'all, my tripod is tall, and I'm tall, but it's still taller than me. It's funny. I am going to definitely follow this Harvey story for the duration of it, because we have to get the word out about what's going on in Harvey. We definitely got to pay attention to see if they give us the financial reports today, which is on the agenda. So I'm going to sit back down, y'all, but keep an eye out.
Okay, everyone, they're back from an executive session. Let's see what goes on. Like Vivian said, we're gonna see where we go from here. As they say, here we go, here we go. Seemed like it wasn't too bad in the back. Don't look like no everybody's back. Don't look like nobody got escorted out by handcuffs or by the popo. It's just me. I don't care how calm he feel that he look. I don't care how calm he is. I'm still gonna stay on his neck. He still ain't getting away with how he been treating the people. I'm still gonna do investigations on him. Also, I want to let y'all know, put in a prayer for Flint too. They still they about as bad as Harvey, they're manhandling the residents there in Flint, Michigan. Um, two of the people there, um, two of the residents there that was at a meeting. One man, he's got his wrist fractured and his arm fractured, and another young lady, they handcuffed her, slung her to the floor, and on her way down to on the floor from the officer, she hit her head against the I mean not concrete, against the wall, and was out for a second. And now they report that she has a dislocated shoulder and a mild concussion. So this is what happens when it comes down to you using the police to weaponize the residents, which is uncalled for. The lady was leaving out, the man and the lady was leaving out of the meeting. They was almost at the door and it was in the hallway of the meeting when they arrested them and started pulling on them. And the man, he was trying to defend them on how they were manhandling her and telling them they were wrong. And that's when they slammed him against the bar in the elevator and fractured his wrist and his arm. And then he's now with a cast on from his elbow down to his fingers. And the other lady, her name is Miss Salvage. They threw her to the floor. Her shoulder hit the concrete floor, and the head hit the concrete wall. So she had a mild concussion, and she had a dislocated shoulder. So now arm is in the sling. So this is what happens with these police officers in these meetings, that they're not there to de-escalate. They're there to be violent to these people. And what I heard from last night for Councilwoman Tanya Burns, that somebody called her from her ward and told her that those officers are called the N-word enforcers. Got together, some of the white officers have got together and said that they are the N-word enforcers. So this is how bad it's getting with the police department there. They already have had a history of police brutality, and now you're using the same police department that have been accused of police brutality to do harm on the residents now. Okay, Alice Russell said she's in the hospital. That young lady is still in the hospital. So this is how bad it's getting. So Harvey and Flint, these people needs to stop using the police department to weaponize the residents. Because look, there's that lady right there that I was just telling you about. She's in the hospital. She's still in the hospital from that incident. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And Michigan, they need to call the MCOLES and send those videos, and they need to flood their phones and flood their emails with those videos and people complaining. They need to flood it. Um, Alice Russell, if you know you and anybody else you could talk to, tell them to flood, and I'm gonna put it in the chat for you. These who they need to contact in Michigan. Go to find them and then flood them. Flood that. It's there with the police department. Show them the videos. Show them what they're doing. Show them how the board are using them to harass the people. I mean, whatever you can do. Get that young lady medical report. Get the other gentleman with that, his report, medical report. Show how they are you know, manhandling the residents, and ask them to do a thorough investigation into it and see what they could do to stop that from happening to the residents in their city. It's bad enough they got bad water. That's not getting resolved. The people supposed to be made whole since January from the government. They have not been. That has not happened. And now you got the police entering residents. This is getting ridiculous. The same here in Harvey. They, they taking Alderwoman Colby out and everybody else, manhandling them, arresting them, charging them with $500. It's just it's just it's like it's a it's a funny game. If they don't want to do what I tell them to do, then you out the door. We're gonna do this to you. We're gonna do that to you. This is getting ridiculous, and it shouldn't be happening. So we need to be aware. We need to tell everybody and anybody that want to listen to help stand up for them. Call this location. Look it up. Google MCOLES. The initials stand for. Hold on, just a moment. I will tell you. It's called the Michigan Commissioner of Law Enforcement Standards. Again, Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards. I'll put their phone number in the chat. Miss Alice, if you want to take it down and pass it on. I mean, Miss Alicia, if you want to get it and pass it on. And I'm gonna give you the name again of who they are. And you need to flood them with emails for their email or flood their phones with the complaints for them to come out and investigate. They already had that happen before, along with the FBI. So it might be time for you to do it again to get them to stop with the harassment and the police brutality to the residents. That's just, you know, all you can do is give it a try. You know, all they can say is no, but this is what we're trying to do to try to assist. I mean, this is all advice I could give or a suggestion I could give at this moment. If I find out anything else, I will make sure they have it
You
along
don't
with
want to get no
Harvey.
finances, y'all. Oh my God, what is this man doing? Why is he not starting? You leaving? Okay, you can watch my live. Put it on in the car. Make sure you share it. So y'all, I'm right here, and we don't know what's going on. He done came back, went out, came back, went out. Everybody's in their seat. So what are we waiting on? I don't get it. He definitely playing games, and y'all know that the finance report is on here. So I want to play what y'all eat. Let's see if he about. He talking to everybody. I can, not today, but I can.
He,
I definitely
he
will look
might be
that up for
passing out a
y'all,
copy
and
of
then
the
I'll get back to
financial
y'all on
report.
the
We get ready to find out
interview.
in a
I
minute.
had talked to Kobe.
You get ready to talk into the mic.
All right, it's 7:50 p.m. All the council members and themselves present.
All right, y'all. I'm sitting back down. The Q's here too.
Back in session. We need a motion to go back into open session. Motion by the third, second by the second. Discussion votes. Motion carries. For the next item on the agenda is approval this out that without any issue on it. There's a motion on the floor to send the minutes of April 28, 2025 to the legislative committee. But we have a motion to send to the legislative committee. Is there a second? Sending that. We have to keep mark off. The motion by the, second, maybe second, for. So, vote. Motion failed. So once again, motion on the ask for the motion to approve the minutes of order.
Yeah, you have to remove the actions that they, all on the chat, get a discussion by the debate.
Make a motion for the minutes. All right, tell you what, we'll just take it back. Okay.
All right, okay. So this is not, well, I'm not in approval of the minutes if it comes to my debate. It's that the minutes don't include everything that actually happened in the meeting, particularly like on May 12th when residents moved out, moved back in, and everything that happened and went on.
We're talking about April 28th. So I'm talking about next month, we're talking about April 28th. We're on April 28th.
Actually, okay. But regardless of you saying that, okay, that's fine, but I'm really saying when it comes to all of the meetings, we need to have a better procedure, which I suggested before, where I'm not in favor of it, because it doesn't never include, there's one thing you have the residents, in my orders, you don't have to answer, you don't need information, but if we're voting on minutes, approval of minutes, this is records that's going to be in the system for years to come. Long, long, this document. It'd be nice to show everything that happened, the questions that they asked, their names, and see if we respond back on their questions. And they know what's happening with parties and things like that. That'd be real professional.
Excuse the technical difficulty. It's
It's
not my computer this time. It's Vivian's phone for whatever reason.
Minutes, as it already been established, minutes do not have to be verbatim. That's number one. Minutes do not have to be verbatim. That is not only in this particular body, that is in other city councils, other councils as well, and courts have also recognized that minutes do not have to be verbatim. So that's number one. Two, is if someone has an issue, even though they don't have to be verbatim, we do have a verbatim recording as well.
Hey, y'all,
So if someone
sorry.
wants to go back and take us, look at a particular part, of the meeting, they can still do that as well. But minutes do not have to be, um, verbatim. We have actually discussed that on, and addressed that on some occasions. We're addressing it again, but I just wanted to make it clear, and I want to make it clear for council and ordinance as well. That is long established before this administration, before the previous administration, and say versus 5 administrations prior to that. So, that being said, the date is not closed, if there are no possible debates, so we're ready to take a vote. That's your vote. Motion carries. Item 6B, the approval of minutes for May 12, 2025. Motion by the third and the second on the first. Is there any debate? Hearing none, the objection votes. Motion carries. It is, next item is the approval of approval minutes dated June 9, 2025. Is there any debate? Hearing none. Motion carries. Inside the bills, second, the date is 2025, is there a recommendation on the budget? You're postponing the vote on 26 on recommendation because you're going to be here at a date. Oh. So the vote is set B, though, for the record, 17, 23rd, 2025, is the recommendation from the, council. That brings us to, 8.
Order the discussion for, I know you referenced the items, but as a whole body, we have, opportunity for discussion, in 2666.
No, that's in the finance committee, that's where that will take place.
If I may just ask, what will the finance committee do?
And that brings us to number 8, the treasury report. Now, as all persons see, as I mentioned in our last meeting, the treasurer's committee made a report, which is titled Monthly Summary of Bank Accounts. Okay. And I, not only did I present some council about our public ordinance, and it was our plan for it to be on today's, this is what was supposed to happen. One is the comptroller. It was presented to the comptroller. And the comptroller gave a report to the clerk that is included, it's included in that. However, in my opinion, is entirely up to you guys, that report did not reconcile with the treasurer's report in any shape, form, or fashion, honestly. So, because it did not reconcile with the treasurer's report, I had the comptroller to create a more reconcilable report that can be presented to the council. The difficulty that we're having right now is that the finance committee did not have the finance meeting, which is where the report was supposed to go to. Okay? So because the finance committee was supposed to have a meeting, and the meeting did not happen, secondly, we can't present the treasurer's reports at the time, because they both need to be reconciled. Okay? You can take a look at the reports themselves, you can see that there's a discrepancy as far as the reports are concerned. So the finance committee needs to have that, that meeting. However, that being said, so that everybody can understand it clearly, it is still up to the members. Well, yes, it's still up to the members as far as whether you want to go in there and address these issues now in this session, or if you want to wait until you can actually review it and go over it in the finance meeting. And that would be determined by you. Saw the hands on the recognize the council would make a decision. So if it is it, right? No, just like when we just came to the minutes and the all order of the second quarter made a motion to send it to legislative committee. We already know that this should go before the finance committee. We already know. But the council.
As Vivian
So
said,
you can change
yeah,
it
he's
and say you want to
full of
address it
bull.
now. You want to address it in entirely up to you guys. Second. Well, there's a motion.
I thought they gotta put it on the board.
Okay.
Y'all see how convenient this is. We're not gonna get the treasurer's report today.
While we're doing this, the work that is happening, and it'll hopefully put us on a better and straighter path in the future.
Can I confirm the second?
Second.
So they don't have to use the electronic system right now.
So the first board made the motion. Fourth board was the second.
No, they wasn't gonna get it. It was totally a political play.
You're right, Vivian. That's exactly what it was. You heard Vivian say it was a political play.
So, first and second, before, there's no debate on this issue, so we can actually vote.
They full of shit, y'all.
So the motion carries. So this will be sent to the sent to the finance committee for presentation, and then finance meeting. Second ward. Point of order. No, not at this particular point in time, on the point of order, that's the problem of the point of order. We'd like to discuss that some other time, but not. Okay. All right, next item, so that's once again, that's sent to the finance committee, and our next, presented by our next finance committee. If there's anything that, anyone needs in between this time, please contact the treasurer or the council, so that you can have, whatever, required from you. Next item on the agenda is 9, approval of ordinances and resolutions for the city of Harvey. 9A, old business is fund. 9B, new business. Motion to B1, motion to approve the release and settlement agreement between Taurus and others versus the city of Harvey. This motion authorizes the legal fund settlement lawsuit title 1, Taurus and Giovanni Munoz versus the city of Harvey and George Locke Jr. Case number 24L66062. There's a motion by the third and second by the fifth. Shouldn't be any debate, but I'll just ask that anyway. Hearing none, the next vote. Carries. Next item on the agenda, B292, is a resolution approving an automatic aid agreement between the villages of Vernon, Calumet City, Countryville Hills, Dalton, East Hazelcrest, Flossmoor, Linwood, Harvey, Hazelcrest, Homewood, Lansing, Linwood, Markham, Madison, Madison, Munster, Oak Forest, Park Forest, Phoenix, Richmond Park, Riverdale, South Holland, Thornton, and Tinley Park. This resolution authorizes cooperating municipalities and directs their respective fire chiefs or designee to take necessary and proper action to render and or request automatic aid from other cooperating municipalities according to the terms of this agreement. I have a motion by the third, and a second by the first. During the debate, hearing none, we get to vote. Motion carries.
Resolution number 4008. 4008.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is public comment. Number 10, public comment is first appreciated. This is the only opportunity for the public to address the city council on agenda items and any other city-related business. In order to accomplish all business on the agenda and be respectful of everyone's time, council members will not engage in dialogue with individual members of the ordinance, and no immediate action will be taken on any public comment issue. Public comment will be limited to minutes. No speaker may donate his or her time to another speaker. Comments shall be courteous and respectful at all times. No person may use public comment for the purpose of campaigning or advertising. This is not a question and answer time. council cannot engage in conversation with the public. Questions and concerns about operations should be addressed with city staff during regular business hours. I'd like to note again that comments shall be.
Wow, this is a long, boring meeting.
I want to bring this up because it seems like, unfortunately, that the venom and vitriol has escalated to proportions where people are now making personal attacks at each other. We would like to not do that. However, that person did it right to say certain things, so if you choose to do so, that's fine. I also want to make sure that I will make sure that the audience understands, and those who are watching, that just because someone may choose to make a personal attack does not mean that that is true. Just because someone may decide to make a comment that is positioned for whether positive or negative does not mean that it is necessarily true. However, we are protected by the First Amendment, so people can, to a certain degree, but still there's no fire in the Bible either and stuff like that. But to a certain degree, we can obviously we want to. That being said, I will read the first thing and then we will move on to the next to follow. So the first on the comment is Amanda Askew, followed by Glennis James Watson.
Okay, I think they're doing public comments right now.
So, during the comments about the treasurer's report, mentioned about the monthly summary of bank accounts report and it being reconciled. My concern and suggestion is that the next finance committee, which I hope will translate into the next city council meeting, that not only will there be a monthly summary of the bank accounts report, but there will also be an update about the missing audits. The last finance committee meeting that I attended in first quarter of 2025, which is March 24th, Comptroller Mr. Williams mentioned that in first quarter of this year, we were just now paying the accounting firm for Sperry for the 2022 audit. So I think it's important to have an update about that because again, we're still not in compliance with the state of Illinois because we're still 3 years behind on
Hello.
audits. So it is my hope that at the next finance committee meeting, which moves on to the next city council meeting, that there will be an update about that audit or hopefully a completed audit for at least the year 2022 because we also still need the audits for 23 and 24 as well. My second concern was today before I came to the meeting, the meeting starts at 7 p.m. and at the last meeting I attended, the doors were open and the public was able to come in at 6:30, between 6:30 and 6:40. I arrived here at 6:08 because I thought the finance meeting was today. Unfortunately, it was not. So I left and came back. I entered the building at 6:38 because the front door was open because this is a public building. And unfortunately, I was met with a little bit of resistance. Now, what concerns me is that it's 90 degrees outside today. It's an excessive heat warning, and the doors were locked, and people was outside. I spoke with 4 officers, including the chief of police, to plead for the residents to be allowed in because it is excessive heat. And now, quickly, there is a lot of officers that are here that crowd control can be maintained. And I just implore you all to think about that the next time there's a city council meeting, to allow the residents to come in and not stand in the heat. Because there's a good majority of our residents that are seniors that may have walking or cane or may not be able to handle the heat. So again, it's inhumane to allow the public to stand outside, although the meeting did not start at 7.
I love her. Whoever she is, I like that. She's speaking for them.
They may not be able to enter the chambers, but they still should be able to enter the building and form a line before the meeting gets started. I'm sorry, it's 90-something degrees outside, and that is inhumane. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Next, Glennis James Watson, followed by Chappelle Hooks.
All right, Miss Watson, and then Chappelle Hooks. Okay.
You know, it's questions to ask. We're gonna be here for you. Mis comentarios son noche están dando la fechada de atención a la fecha de que 35.2% de las residentes de Harvey son latinos y hay mucha gente que solo habla español. Sin embargo, no creo que la ciudad de Harvey tenga algo en español. Las formas, la revista, la cuenta y el inserto y la website, todo solamente en inglés. La única cosa que ha visto en español es noticias de las reuniones de primer de la señora Luis. Digo esto porque es importante que los 6.848 latinos en Harvard es el incluido y tiene voz en la que está ocurriendo en Harvard. No es difícil hacer las cosas accesibles ahora. Hay apps por todo. Necesitamos las voces y ideas de toda la gente en Harvard. Gracias. Ahora este mensaje será en inglés. Good evening. My name is Minister James Watson. I live in the first floor. My comments tonight are in Spanish to draw attention to the fact that 35.2% of Harvard residents are Latino, and there are many people who only speak Spanish. However, I don't believe that the city of Harvard has anything in Spanish. The forms, the magazine, the bill, and the insert, and the website. And even la boca del alcalde is in English. The mayor's cup is in English. Not football. It's in English. The only thing that I have seen in Spanish are notices about Mr. Ritzy's first working. I say all of this because it's important that the 6,848 Latinos in Harvey are included, need to be included and have a voice in what is happening in the city. It's not difficult to make things accessible now. There are apps everywhere for everything. We need the voices and ideas of all the people in Harvey. Thank you.
Next we have Chappelle Hooks, followed by Ms. Harvey.
Well, at least he's still letting them clap. That's the plus.
An issue with these elected officials having their little Facebook and social media agencies, and they get on and they threaten to harass residents. Every time there's an election or campaign come around, Cliff Ross tends to pop up on social media, on Facebook, wants to play and talk crazy and all of that. But I know there's nothing that happens to Cliff Ross. Because they Cliff Ross is one of our elected officials. But I think, the loans on one like that, James, children, Fisher, and Buffy for an investigation. Something you can say on social media, Facebook, because you got other people breaking up. Like this crossing, and then held for a question. I'll make the question there. Also, we don't
Next, we have Missouri Urban, followed by Ryan Sinwelski.
Good evening, everybody. Missouri Urban, former trustee of the Harvey Public Library, 2015 to 2021. I'd just like to piggyback on some of the things that Alderman Chapman was trying to say, where she was kind of looked out and stopped from getting to. That April 28th meeting was quite turbulent. A lot of things happened. And I've got a problem with those events that occurred for that report. It's all concentrated on when the policemen attacked her and were throwing her around and pushing her and dragging her out of the building. But nothing was mentioned about the three encounters when she was trying to ask questions about what you guys were voting on and how the Robert's Rule of Order was violated and the Open Meetings Act was violated. None of that was concentrated on. Everything jumped from the beginning all the way to the middle. Not even from the beginning, it just jumped right to the middle. And everybody's been riding that, the media's been riding that, and the minutes. That's what's being reflected right now. You can generalize too much, okay? You don't have to put word for word, like you said, verbatim, but you need to refer to what happened. 3 times she asked questions, 3 times you shut her down, violating Robert's Rule of Order, and then you got a man and then you had her arrested. That's what she's talking about, okay? So you all do need to correct your minutes and make it right, because it's part of the information of the city of Harvey. Through FOIAs, freedom of information, you may not get it all. And some people are even suing the city because they can't get the information, and they have a right to, okay? Now, the treasurer's report. 6 years, it took y'all 6 years to figure out this process. That's just blowing my mind, okay? If I was on drugs, I probably would deal with this a little bit better. I mean, really. Look, the month ends, there's a cutoff, there's a account balance. You report that, okay? You all got your days mixed up. Mr. Williams, what day are you taking your report from? It's not the same day that she's taking hers from. You may not be able to get it pinpointed penny for penny, but we want a general idea of what's going on in the city. And this to the finance committee, and they didn't know nothing about it, and that was 2 weeks ago from the last week. Y'all dragging it. You got to do better than this. You got to do better. You know, and I always remember, y'all, prayer without works means nothing. You can stand up here and pray all you want, but it's your actions that count. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, that prayer goes nowhere. It doesn't get off the ground, okay? Y'all remember that. It ain't what they say, watch what they do, okay? It ain't not like the prayers. Watch what they do, and then you'll really have a full vision of what's going on in our city. Thank you.
Next, we have Ryan Sinwelski, followed by Irene Fitton.
All right, he's standing his ground. He is letting them flag now, y'all. Yay!
In Harvey, I'm happy to fly the rainbow flag here in Harvey as a symbol that everyone is welcome to. You can sit at my house, yes, I know it's big, maybe when we're larger than you see, but I feel that's very important. Started as the ideal factory town in 1891, Harvey has welcomed countless families from all backgrounds. So sometimes people are we get a little scared by one new group or another group. I just remind everybody that as someone who's a part of the historical society, we've always had fresh groups of people. So this diversity makes us stronger, not weaker. I have a vision for a library market where we can care for people instead of harassing them, arresting them, finding them, and extorting them. How about we fix up our old buildings instead of demolishing them? Make them so they can house new families and new businesses. Instead of extorting businesses, let's help them get tax relief and grants so they can thrive. Instead of threatening people who volunteer to beautify Harvard, let's support and recognize their efforts. In the spirit of pride, let's get some open answers. I said a few questions. Why is our elected treasurer still locked out of the city boards? If nothing is being done wrong, that really does not sound right to me. Why do we have no meeting packets or finance info put online for people to see ahead of time? Why was Harvard resident Melissa Crawley suddenly arrested today in front of her home, where she was on live video? Why is Mayor Clark sending people around the city to harass and bully his critics on private property with the illegal protection of our supported Harvey Police Department officers and resources. Where are the receipts for the millions of dollars given for demolition, repairing of fire hydrants? Where are the receipts for Clark security detail, for aldermanic expense accounts? Where are the public property updates? Why are we have all these unsolved murders? I support dispensaries, but why is their part pulling the business on Halsted out of his building and replacing with another outside business without consulting residents? That is not great. Finally, I know Linus mentioned the issue of translation. We need translations for our Spanish speaking residents. More than a third of our city is Spanish speaking. And last but not least, why the mayor and his associates take more time talking about or making up lies about my sex life and Chappelle's tax paying status and what Colby does in city council. What does that have to do with anything?
Next, we have Irene Finney.
I know about you, yes, you never long time ago. But it never been was a couple years ago. It's a progress been made in Harvey. You see how the 150 but I then, 150, well, I don't walk it off. What did I go? How did I go? Home in 50, deposit, graduate, got the reality. And in administration, don't do a good job. It ain't what it used to be, and what everybody wanted to be, but it is the progress made. And I think that, Mr. Brown, keep up the good work. Oh, no.
They clapping again. He ain't hitting the gavel. Oh, maybe something they did the other night did help with a little bit.
Next is mayoral comment. Well, sorry. Now, I might encourage you, and I actually might post a scripture, so those who want to write extra 5.
No, those him pretty. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. Thank you, council, for the work that you've done. It's greatly appreciated. I think that we have once again, we are making some progress in the right direction. And so, it may take us a little time to get there, and we are not where we want to be, but we're not where we used to be. So, we're addressing a few issues. Spanish versus English. Yes. First of all, thank you for the advertisement regarding the mayor's stuff. Mayor's stuff is 28, 29. No, it's not in Spanish. It's true. But for some odd reason, You don't stop the Spanish-speaking people from attending that event, because it is now an event. Okay, we have sponsors, we have some everybody come out. How many people we had the last time, approximately, as far as players? Over 1,000? Yeah, it's an event. And so, but the thing about it is also, let me make sure that this is clear. Men's Cup is not just the Spanish-speaking people. You know, there are other people who participate as well. It is a fantastic event. I am extremely proud of it. I'm extremely proud of the fact that what the team does to put it together. And I'm also extremely proud of our sponsors who support what we're trying to do. I want to basically point out for Alderwoman Lewinsky that yes, she puts her notices in Spanish, and she also brings up quite often the possibility of putting other things in Spanish where we can. We have supported the community, and we will continue to support the community. And I think that as far as this particular administration is concerned, this is probably one of the most diverse administrations that we've seen in a long time here in the city of Harvey. We have representation from all walks of life here in this administration. And once again, I'm not proud of it. We are proud of it. So, now as far as Facebook is concerned, and social media, y'all got to take, those that have problems with Facebook or whatever's going on with Facebook, you got to take that up with Mark Zuckerberg, okay? And if you got a problem with what's going on with Google, you can take that up with whatever, I can't even pronounce the Russian name. You can take that up with them. We don't control Facebook, we don't control Google, we don't control YouTube, we don't control any of those social platforms. We only control the things that we can control. If somebody, it's funny because, freedom of speech is a real funny creature. Because one freedom of speech is okay, but another's freedom of speech is not. You have the ability to say what you want to say, but the others don't have the ability to say what they want to say and do what they want to do. And that's the American dynamic. That's our experience. That's the thing where we people, saying, in order to form a more perfect you, that's the experience that we have. Is that we have competing interests as far as what the law says. We have competing interests as far as what our rights are. And sometimes my rights might infringe on yours, yours might infringe on mine. There's a balance here. But we have to learn how to do that. But the one thing that we can do, regardless of what the First Amendment says, because this is one thing that's not in the Declaration of Independence, and it's not in the Constitution. It's civility. Civility isn't written in any of that. And some of the biggest problems that are happening have nothing to do with what is or is not legal, or even what it is or is not right. Because, there's not a world where everyone agrees on every single thing. But the ability to be civil with each other is extremely important. That is what separates us. That is what distinguishes us. And that is the part that's not written, that for some odd reason we have the most difficulty dealing with. So whether it is on any of the social media platforms, like I said, we can't control that. I hope that some of you who are in the audience and also those who watch by video, pay attention to our first meeting of the month, where we give the staff reports. Because those staff reports are chock full of information. You know, at times I may hear people say something regarding the city, right? Unsolved crimes, and things of that nature. And I'm scratching my head because I'm saying, well, the police department just gave a report on the whole thing, you know? And so that to me means that maybe nobody's really listening or paying attention. But whether you choose to pay attention or not is entirely up to you. But the information is available, and I'm proud of the team for doing the work that they do. And I'm proud for how they have advanced themselves as far as their reports are concerned. And those reports are only getting better. And for those who don't walk in the room looking at us with what they call the jaundiced eye, you can see that some of those things are happening, and the city is moving forward. And these people over here are working like never before. So that's what happens with that. Now, little story. I like this story. So why did they? Use a building for dispensary and take it away from another company that was using that building. You know, this is the stuff that honestly that the public really doesn't know. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't tell you. And I'll explain to you why I don't. Because if I told you every single thing that was going on in the previous administration, we'd be here for the next 4 years. You really would. When WGN and Bill Bradley came in 2019 and first presented the boxes that were all stacked up in the basement, that was all over the place. Okay, I was hoping that people would pay attention and see the condition that the city was in. When I tell people that we were $164 million in debt, I was hoping that both of us would say, that's a big number. You know, and that's not the type of number that you just get rid of in a year or 4 years. That's unfortunately, that is going to outlive probably everybody in this room. Okay, God willing, the degree don't rise, that's what's going to happen. Because $164 billion in debt for a municipality that has a 52% tax collection rate and 35% of its money is being taken by the state comptroller's office. That makes a difference. And I'm thinking that people who say they love our city would not just go off of their emotions, but would also go off the facts. Now, let me give you a fact. Tithes are us, which is where which is the business where the now tax-paying, okay, law-abiding cannabis dispensary is going to go. When we came in, we found out that Titles R Us was actually paying taxes, not paying taxes, paying rent to somebody else. It was a city-owned building. The Titles R Us wasn't paying us, they was paying it to somebody else. Who were they paying it to, man? You might ask that question. Where were they sending the money? You got to ask them. Because we weren't getting it, and we did not have a valid lease with them, because there was no lease that was agreed upon by the city council. So somebody was occupying a city building. They were operating a business out of that city building. Okay? The The city was not getting paid for them operating their city building, and they were paying that money to someone else. Some mysterious person out there. Single-family homes that were owned in the city. Those homes were being rented out to people, not by the city, by random mysterious people. So if they could find say for instance, a single parent with children, and get them to agree to go ahead and move into this house and pay them in cash, they got paid. Now, imagine doing that not one time, but 10 times, 20 times, 50 times. And you're paying, say, for instance, $1,000 a month. That's what was going on when we got the box. Okay, we didn't come back to you and tell you about it, we just stopped it, isn't that right? We stopped it. Every time we found out about it, we stopped it. There are other commercial properties. Some of you might have heard of commercial property on 147th Street where Bob Watson is. That man came up in here talking about how the city was treating him wrong when he was squatting on city property. And the city moved to get him off the property. Okay? But wait, he sued us. He sued the city of Harvey for trying to put him off of the property that he was squatting on. Got a restraining order against the city because the city was trying to put him off the property that he was squatting on. So then we had to go through legal gymnastics for years and years and years. And these are things that didn't take place, didn't happen during this administration. They were already in place prior to this administration. But even though they were in place prior to this administration, it seemed like nobody had anything to say. Yeah, he dumped oil and dumping oil. But he wasn't just dumping oil over there at Bob Watson in the sewers. He was also dumping oil at American Kitchen on 154th and right off the Dixie. And he dumped so much oil that it blocked up the sewers. Am I correct? And the state had to come out. Well, we're not going to we'll be here forever. And the simple fact is, there were people making money off of the city by not having people pay their proper taxes. There were people that were making money off of this city by not having them follow the law and follow the process. I have several friends that have said that they would hate to go downstairs in the building inspection services because if somebody calls them out of the line, that means they're going to have to pay for something. So that's what was going on in the city. And so the tires on us, what we did was we found a viable business. It all about the taxpaying corporate citizen to come in. And we will receive property taxes and sales taxes from that business, which is what every city needs in order to run. The lights don't come on by themselves. And unfortunately, we don't have, as the comptroller said, we don't have $10,000 issues. We got $10 million issues. We're trying to still figure out what to do with the unpaid water bill that wasn't paid by the previous administration. We're still trying to figure out how to deal with that issue. We've gone through the, what's the name? The Lightfoot administration. And now we're into the current administration. You see how many people names. Johnson administration to try to figure out how we can get that rectified. That's a $26 million issue. Okay, that's not about y'all off in kids, so y'all got money. No, that's a $26 million issue. $164 million is hard to find out. But that being said, I do agree. And that's the hard part that people can't, I see they can't understand. I do agree with some of the sentiments. I just try to be politically mature about it. But it doesn't mean that I don't agree. We still, I'm with you. Whoever said what they said about all this, I'm with you. Okay? And I've been putting foot in the back as far as the artists are concerned. All these artists just to say is just to simply say, hey, look at this, see this, I wish it was. And can't be you better than us. But once again, it's 5 years behind, nobody had anything to say. Catching up, getting there, and continue working on the result. The fact that somebody mentioned the Spirit's name means that we haven't ordered it. They say it in the public domain. We haven't ordered it. The auditor is working on the audits. And as soon as we get done, we'll have a meeting, and I really hope pray that we have just as much of a crowd here when that happens. We have done from, and I'm going to say this again, there was 3 things, and I don't know what the 3 things were. We have not brought up the tax status, we didn't say that. That was not said from here. And honestly, at the end of the day, as far as the data is concerned, we're not going through the same thing we're addressing. And then as far as homosexuality, brother, you need to go talk to somebody. Because if you're not ashamed, you say you're proud. Then be proud of who you are. Plain and simple. Because we never said anything about homosexuality. Absolutely nothing. But for some reason that keeps coming out because that's a dog whistle to try to get the other people from the LGBTQ community to come on board and vote and fight against an issue that's not an issue. The reason why Ryan is an issue is because of Ryan. It ain't got nothing to do with sexuality. So we never address that, and I don't necessarily appreciate that, you know what I'm saying, those words being put in my mouth, and I addressed the issue 2 weeks ago. My views did change. My views remain the same as far as the LGBTQ plus community. And they will continue to remain the same. So on that note, I will say happy Pride Month, but also happy Black Music Month too. Okay. So that being said, go Shorty, it's your birthday. Go Shorty, it's your birthday. Go Shorty, it's your birthday. I'm wishing myself a happy birthday. And I just want to know, you know what, God has given me another opportunity to, as somebody said, go around the sun. I am, oh my God, I am so grateful. And I am so grateful for all of you. There's this movie that I like, that I really, really like. I'm not gonna say what the movie is, but in the movie, the gentleman is having his birthday party. He's having his birthday party, and he says in his birthday party that all of you are here. And we may not have had a perfect relationship. And there are times that we didn't see eye to eye, and they have been very ups and downs. but for this moment in time, we are together. And so, regardless of who you are, whether we agree or we don't agree on all of those things, I just want you to know that I love and appreciate you. Okay? And I appreciate you that I'm here to look at each and every last one of you. Okay? Because yes, I'm gonna go into it. God is an awesome God. Okay? And I'll continue. If it had not been for the Lord on my side, where would I be? And so, with that being said, if there's nothing else good for the middle of the morning, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by the fifth, second by the first. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, hearing none, we stand adjourned at 8:53. Everyone have a great week and great weekend. And we'll see you again soon.
All right, y'all. This meeting is over. Let me zoom out. I'm gonna still stay on live. Can you put this down for me? Thank you. Let me go. Y'all see this mess. You know how to do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I heard this mess. Yeah,
Oh, this fan feel good, y'all.
yes.
So, I got a lot of things to say about this meeting. A lot of things. I definitely will say what I gotta say once I get outside where it's a little quieter. But I definitely got a lot of things to say.
I do too.
Hey, somebody told me don't record them, so I want to make sure that I'm got my camera out because who you gonna tell me to stop recording you? I'm sorry, you good? Hey, how you doing?
Oh, there my girl, there our girl, Kobe.
Oh, I'm like, what? Huh? These not sister locks. These just regular locks. Oh, thank you. Yeah, they just regular. Huh? Thank you. I'm gonna head outside. All right. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call you later.
Oh, well, thanks
I'm
to
hungry.
Vivian. She
Hey,
is able to
Daniel,
let
hold
us go,
this.
allow me to use her live today.
My scratcher
Again,
stuff on
let's
my
give a
wallet.
shout out to
It's on
Vivian. We're going to stay on it, and I
I'm
want to
gonna
see
call
what
you
her
later.
opinion is
I'm
about
sorry.
this. And then what I would do is later on, meet with my OTR crew, Menu with Opinion, and I said what I said, and we're gonna
That's the lady.
review
Picture keep coming up on my
the
Facebook
meeting
page.
and see what,
Every time I go on
and I'm gonna
Facebook,
get their
and
opinions
she be checking my
also.
post out. She be
So
looking at my
thank you for
videos and
tuning
stuff.
in. Thank you for
You know how
watching the
people
live, and
tell people look at
we
some
will
shit.
be back
It's
with
like,
you
oh, I
on
gotta go
OTR in
repeat
regards to
it.
this. Thank you again,
So this,
and have a
so
great
I don't
night.
stalk people's pages, but I know she stalked mine. That's weird.